I'm Anthony Smith with HFG Trust, and this is the Chart of the Week video. Hello, and welcome to our weekly video. In our video a couple weeks ago, we touched upon the importance of investing in companies with pricing power as a way to protect your portfolio against inflation. And the thinking goes that if a company can raise the prices of its products and services to match or outpace the increase in its own costs, then profit margin can be maintained and potentially expanded. And that's all kind of in the theoretical realm, which is useful to a point, but real world examples are so much better. And so that's what we're going to highlight in this video. We are in the middle of corporate earnings season. And by middle, I mean the middle. 244 of the 500 companies in the S&P 500 have reported their third quarter earnings. Now, quarterly earnings are watched very closely by investment analysts because they represent new data, which is then input into stock valuation models. So let's look at two earnings reports that came out yesterday, and that's Wednesday of this week. McDonald's and Coca-Cola. They both reported good results that beat analyst estimates, so that's good news. What was particularly notable is that both companies are having success raising prices to offset wage and commodity cost pressures. And the price increases did not appear to negatively impact demand or the volume of its products sold. So many moons ago, I was a young analyst in New York City, and as part of my job, I followed companies like McDonald's very closely. So when earnings would come out each quarter, we'd look at revenue growth, but not just that, we look at the components of revenue growth, and specifically there is price and there is volume. So think the price of the units sold and the volume of units sold. So growing total revenues was not always enough. Ideally, the revenue growth would come from a balanced mix of increases in price and volume. So to illustrate this further, back in 2005, for example, when I was doing this, if a company showed 10% revenue growth, but it all came from price increases and volume was flat or worse, down, then we would look at that revenue gain as being unsustainable in that non-inflationary environment. You know, you could only raise prices so much before customers stop coming through the door. So now, and I mean right now, because we don't know how long this will last, it's different because price increases are being looked upon a little bit more favorably by the investment analyst community because volumes are also up. It's not impacting volumes yet. So if you look at McDonald's stock price yesterday upon the release of its earnings, it was up 2.7%. That is the chart that we're looking at here. This is a 5-day chart, and you can see right there the beginning of yesterday, October 27th, there was a spike as a result of good earnings and McDonald's ability to pass on its increase in costs to the customer. And Coke, another example, was up 2% on similar news. So, and I saw this quote in a Bloomberg article. Let's see, prices on virtually all types of food and consumer goods are going up, and many Americans don't seem to mind. And this all goes back to the idea that if consumers expect inflation, which as we showed a couple weeks ago in that video, then they're more willing to pay higher prices. And this is all good news for you as an investor in these companies with strong pricing power, but maybe it's not such great news for you as a customer. That's it for this week. Thank you for watching.